The night had fallen with an eerie stillness, the kind that made even the wind hesitate. James did not remember hearing footsteps, only the sudden snap of branches behind him, then the sharp sting of fear slicing through his chest. A shadow moved too fast. A hand grabbed him from behind, and before he could react, he was pressed against the cold ground. For a moment, he thought death had finally caught up to him. But death never came. Instead, the masked men lingered around him, their breaths heavy, their movements strangely calculated. One of them pressed a boot on his shoulder, forcing James to stay down, while another leaned in as if studying his face. The moonlight above flickered against their knives, but none of them swung. It made no sense. They had him fully trapped. Killing him would have been easy. Yet they didn't. They whispered something he couldn't hear, then stepped back. The boot lifted. The weight disappeared. And before James could rise, the men vanished into the darkness as quickly as they came, leaving nothing behind except the echo of their footsteps and the pounding of his own heart. James stayed frozen for several seconds, trying to understand what had just happened. His body was trembling, not from pain but from confusion. If they wanted him dead, he would be dead already. So why spare him? Unless he was never the one they wanted. The thought hit him like a punch. A chill crawled up his spine as memories of Diep filled his mind. The way she laughed when teaching little Nee to color. The gentle way she soothed the child to sleep. Her quiet worry every night he didn't return. Diep was his softest point, his weakness, his heart. And suddenly everything made sense. They wanted him alive so he could suffer. They wanted him alive so he could watch someone he loved be destroyed. He staggered to his feet, dust on his clothes, fear in his blood, and a single name burning in his chest, Diep. He needed to get back to her. But as he rushed through the dim road toward home, a new fear grew inside him. What if they were already near her? What if the real attack had only just begun? Diep woke before sunrise that morning, her chest heavy with a feeling she couldn't explain. Nee was still sleeping beside her, curled up like a small kitten, her tiny hand resting on Diep's arm. The peaceful scene should have calmed her, but instead it filled her with a deeper sense of dread. Someone felt missing. James. She tried calling him again, even though she knew the result. The phone buzzed once, then fell into silence. No ringing, no answering, just emptiness. Diep swallowed hard and placed the phone down, trying not to let her hands shake. Maybe he's still busy, she whispered to herself, but even she didn't believe it. By noon, her worry had grown unbearable. She walked outside, checking the road as if expecting him to appear. Every sound, the rumble of a motorbike, the chatter of workers, even the cry of a wandering dog, made her turn her head. But James never appeared. What Diep didn't know was that miles away, James was running toward her with panic, tearing through him like fire. He pushed through the tall grass, stumbling over roots, his breath ragged. Every second felt like a countdown. He kept seeing Diep's face, her gentle smile, her shy way of looking down when she was worried, the softness in her voice whenever she said his name. She was everything he had left, the one person he couldn't lose. Please let her be safe, he whispered into the cold wind. Back at the house, Diep decided she couldn't sit still anymore. She wrapped Nee in a light jacket and carried her outside. "We'll go look for Uncle James, okay?" she whispered. The child nodded sleepily, still too young to understand danger. As they walked down the dusty road, Diep felt eyes watching her. She turned sharply, but no one was there, only the rustling of leaves and the far-off sound of trucks. She continued walking, her steps quicker now, her heartbeat unsteady. Across the street, hidden behind a row of trees, a man lowered a pair of binoculars. His voice was low, cold, almost bored. "She's leaving the house," he said into a small radio. A crackle, then another voice replied. "Good, keep eyes on her. The boss wants the girl unharmed, but the woman,
Do not let her out of sight." The man smirked, sliding the binoculars back up. "James ran all night for nothing. He's too late." James's legs were burning, his breath shallow and painful, but he didn't stop. Every instinct in his body was screaming the same message: Diep is in danger, hurry. Branches scraped his arms as he pushed through the path, stumbling onto the main road. A truck roared past him, making him jump back. He didn't care. He only cared about reaching her before the people hunting them did. Meanwhile, Diep walked quickly with Knee in her arms, scanning every direction. The deeper she went into the quiet part of the village, the more uneasy she became. Fewer people, fewer houses, only the sound of cicadas echoing through the warm afternoon air. Something felt terribly wrong. "Knee, are you okay?" Diep whispered. The little girl nodded, resting her head on Diep's shoulder. "Diep, when will James come back?" Diep forced a smile she didn't feel. "Soon, sweetie. He'll come back soon." But her hands were trembling. Across the road, the man with the binoculars followed silently, staying several houses behind. He wasn't alone anymore. 2 more men had joined him, their expressions cold, their movements calculated. "Target is moving toward the old bridge," one of them said into a radio. The reply crackled back instantly. "Keep her in sight. Do not approach yet. Wait for the order. And remember, the man is irrelevant. The woman is the priority." The priority. Diep had no idea she was the reason James had been hunted. She had no idea someone had dug through her past, her family, her land, her connection to old disputes that James's father and John had left unresolved. She didn't know that hurting James would mean nothing, but hurting her would destroy him completely. A sudden noise snapped Diep out of her thoughts. A motorbike engine revving too close, too suddenly. She spun around. A man on a black motorbike slowed as he passed her, his eyes lingering too long, too deliberately. Diep felt a chill crawl up her spine. She turned away quickly, gripping Knee tighter. Behind her, the man spoke into his helmet microphone. "She's frightened now, ready whenever the boss gives the signal." At that exact moment, James burst onto the far end of the main road, exhausted, dirt-covered, breathing like he had fought an entire night, which he had. He scanned the area desperately. Then he saw her, her small figure, clutching Knee, standing alone with fear in her posture. His heart stopped. "Diep!" he shouted. But the sound was swallowed by the roar of the passing traffic, and she didn't hear him.
James ran forward, waving his arms, shouting her name, but every passing vehicle drowned him out. His voice grew hoarse, desperation tightening his chest. He watched as Diep turned into a narrow alley beside the old bridge, the worst possible place, hidden from sight and dangerously quiet. "Diep, stop! Please!" he screamed again, but the world seemed determined not to carry his voice to her. The men following her noticed James immediately. "He's here," one of them muttered. "Doesn't matter, we were told not to eliminate him yet, but if he interferes, restrain him." James didn't see them until it was too late. A heavy arm wrapped around his throat from behind, dragging him backward. Another man grabbed his arms, pinning him down. He fought, fueled by panic and pure instinct, but he was exhausted, bruised, and still injured from the night before. "Let me go! Diep!" he screamed with helpless fear. The leader stepped forward, expression calm, almost bored. "Stop fighting. You weren't supposed to be here yet." James growled, pulling against their grip with everything he had left. If you touch her—" The leader cut him off with a laugh. "Touch her? James, she is the key. She is the one who can bring your entire world down. You should ask your father why." James froze, panting. "What are you talking about?" But the man only smirked. "Focus on staying alive today. That's enough for you." Meanwhile, Diep continued down the narrow alley, unaware of the danger closing in. She slowed, noticing how quiet it had become, unnaturally quiet. Even Yi lifted her head, sensing the change. "Ko Diep, ko ai a sao ming hom," Yi whispered, voice trembling. Diep swallowed hard. "It's okay. We're almost home." But when she reached the end of the alley, she stopped, dead. A man stepped out from behind a wall, blocking her path. A second man quietly approached from behind. And a third, the one on the motorbike, parked at the entrance, not allowing anyone to enter or leave. Diep felt her knees weaken. She clutched Yi tightly, shielding her with her arms. What do you want?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. The leader tilted his head, smiling as if greeting an old friend. "You, of course. It was always you." Diep's heart dropped. Behind them, a distant echo rose, someone screaming her name with raw, breaking desperation. "Diep!" It was James. She turned, eyes wide, hope and terror crashing together. But the men moved faster. One grabbed her wrist, one ripped Yi from her arms, and before James reached them, before he even turned the corner, Diep was gone.
Life lesson, written like an essay. In the quiet aftermath of chaos, when the dust finally begins to settle, a truth slowly rises to the surface, one that is easy to forget in moments of fear and confusion. The ordeal James and Diep endured reminds us that life often tests the strongest bonds, not through peaceful days, but through storms sharp enough to cut the heart open. Yet it is within these storms that love, courage, and loyalty reveal their truest shapes. The first lesson is that love is not measured by words, but by presence. James, even while injured and terrified, ran toward the danger instead of away from it. His instinct was not to save himself, but to reach Diep. In that frantic, breathless moment, he proved that love is not merely a feeling, it is a force that drives a person to fight for another, even when everything seems impossible. It teaches us that real love shows itself through sacrifice and determination, not through perfect moments. The second lesson is that fear grows strongest in silence, and often the darkness hides intentions that have nothing to do with us personally. The danger aimed at Diep was never truly about her. It was rooted in the secrets, greed, and grudges of others. Life sometimes pulls innocent people into conflicts they never asked to be part of. The lesson here is to never blame yourself for storms caused by someone else's actions or past. The world's cruelty is not a reflection of your worth. The third lesson lies in Diep's resilience. Even when surrounded, frightened, and outnumbered, her first instinct was to shield Yi. Strength does not always roar, sometimes it trembles, but still stands. Diep's courage reminds us that even in moments of absolute vulnerability, the heart can be fierce, protective, and unwavering. And finally, the deepest lesson of all, hope is not fragile, it is stubborn. Even as the world closed in on her, even as James collapsed, trying to reach her, their hearts remained connected through something stronger than distance, danger, or fear. Hope may flicker, but it refuses to die. It whispers that the story is not over, that miracles happen in the most unexpected moments, and that love, real, enduring love, can break through the darkest barriers. In the end, their struggle teaches us that life may not always be kind, but where there is love, courage, and hope, there is always a way forward.